What up, guys? This is your boy Lago One Half and Duo. So, there was a video. This is one of the videos I wanted to do a while back, but I didn't because again, I can't argue preference. Anything I can't. It makes no sense to argue this. What somebody wants, if that's their preference. Is that I will argue when people say certain things, and I gotta fact check that part. But I didn't do the video. Now she has a part two because she says she want to talk about she's happy with she's done with Nintendo. Go look at her. She didn't buy the Nintendo Switch. I only watched maybe the first 4 minutes. She didn't buy the Nintendo Switch. You're here. She didn't buy the Nintendo's games. Good for you. I'm happy for you. That's good. Be a customer. All right. Now the reasons why she says stuff is where I stopped it. I was like, yeah, the usual bullshit. Cause the other company's been doing that shit, and you ain't saying nothing about. You ain't. Have you said anything about those videos? We'll check and see, cause we'll see how that works. But let's see how that works because it's background NPC. Yeah. All right.
3 months ago, I made a video where I basically broke up with Nintendo very publicly on the internet. Very peak millennial behavior, and I am not proud of it.
Basically.
But since almost 630,000 people watched that very public therapy session, I figured that I would do a follow up, kind of like those Where Are They Now reality show segments, except it is just me and my increasingly complicated feelings about a gaming company. In my first video, I talked about how they had been weaponizing our nostalgia, turning childhood memories into soulless
Weaponizing nostalgia. What's going on right now in game right now? People are like, oh, Sonic Cross Worlds. Sonic is a nostalgia. Is doing better than Mario Kart. Even though the game never been released, but it's also on Steam and everything else, and they're going with Steam numbers than actual numbers that the game sold. But I digress. I don't know how you combine these numbers together, but forever. Yeah. They're weaponizing nostalgia. And I saw that video. I'm like, no, they're not. You buy it or you don't want to buy it. And you get because some of the games that come back, and I'm like, yeah, y'all bitched about the games. They make a remake of the game. So it's either you find an old one, which is a lot of money, or you play the new one. Why is that so hard? Why y'all making things harder than it needs to be? I swear that's what it is. But anyway.
business models. I touched on the Gary Bowser case, the creator takedowns, the $80 Mario Kart pricing.
Again, the Bowser case, which he didn't say nothing that was crazy. The $80 games. Again, are you against all the games that spend $120, $130 for all this stuff? Have you done videos on that? Like I said, we'll check at the end of the video because I don't watch the channel, so I don't know. I gotta see what she says. All the companies been. It's like again, Kanoshi. I give Kanoshi this. I've said it. I give Kanoshi prop. Sony and Microsoft did that, and y'all don't say nothing. But maybe she did. We'll see.
All of it. And I said I wasn't buying a Switch 2, which,
Good for you.
again, like I said in my first video, if you did buy one and you are having fun with it, I genuinely am happy for you. But based on everything that has happened since launch,
Again, we'll have to wait and see. But again, when other companies do it, Nintendo gets the stuff. Here's why I say that, and Kanoshi said, and why we all say it. It's kind of weird that you wait to the last Bastion who held out the most. You bashing them while the other companies was doing it up at the front, and y'all didn't come together as gamers to stop this nonsense. That's why we're like that. It's like okay, but Nintendo gets all the flack, and other companies don't. Just say gaming altogether. Which I've been saying for a while. The gaming industry is gonna start doing certain things. The bubble for the price has popped. Y'all don't know. In my last video, I pointed out y'all don't know nothing about how the industry works on the inside and how simple gaming stuff works. Y'all are consumers. You just want your $70, your $60 game. I think that's what it was. It was a bubble. It should have been higher than $60 from the PlayStation from 2012 and out. The Wii U and PlayStation, everything it was. I know it was gonna pop. I said it was gonna pop, and it popped. So price is gonna do it because again, you cannot. I cannot hire a game designer for 2012 prices. I can't hire a team for 2006 prices. Everybody knows gaming is bigger. They want bigger money. They want bigger incentive. They want bigger packages and stuff like that, like healthcare and all that stuff. And that shit's gone up. So again, I did a good version. I did the last video I did the last generation N video I did a while back. I talked about how my job, how prices from what we do here at the architect firm that I work at went up significantly because my boss is not paying me 2005 prices. When I first worked here, it was 2005, $10 an hour. Now, $38 an hour. Yeah, things gonna go up.
Just speed run every possible way to prove my prior points, with patent wars escalating, USB ports getting encrypted, Brazil threateningly scoffed at my breakup video and has decided to just speed run every possible way to prove my prior points, with patent wars escalating, USB ports getting encrypted, Brazil threatening to sue them and raising prices.
And I have a video about that whole USB game encrypted stuff, whatever, which is funny. I'll say it again. And that was from Linus Tech. I got the video from that talking about that. And even them on the end said, okay, yeah, it's a little too much, but we need everything to be free. I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. Okay. Look, I myself, I'm not denying this at all, but I just know how the reality of the freaking world works. If you spend 10 years, 5 years maybe, 5 years on an invention and it works, you want to monopolize on it as much as you can. Every company goes through that bullshit. I do it in my company, my music company. So does the architect company I do here. You monopolize on the bullshit. After a while, it'll soften down or whatever. I get that. But every company does it. So, no. And a USB thing, like I said, give it 2 years. Give it 1 year, 2 years. They're going to have a portable, they don't have a dock out right now that Linus showed in his video that kind of does the handshake so they could use, if you want to use it for a dock. But it's kind of stupid because you buy the console with the dock anyway. So why would it's dumb. It's just dumb. Oh, we need a second dock. Oh, you don't want to pay $100 for the second dock. Okay. I don't know why we're so lazy that we can't move it. I've done this before. Move the dock from the spot where it is and move it to another spot. I've taken my dock to my friend's house and played. Are we that lazy? Human beings are that lazy. It's just that. Because again, remember back in the day, what did we used to do in our Nintendo, Super Nintendo, whatever? Picked up our console and came over to our friend's house and plug it in and get it going. It's the same. That's why the GameCube had a nice little lunchbox and the handles for Bugle Kate over there. We are becoming lazy sons of bitches. I swear. That's what's going on in the world.
On a 7-year-old consoles. Here we are.
Yes.
So 3 months later, let me tell you
wait, hold up. Yeah. And that part right there.
Getting encrypted, Brazil threatening to sue them and raising prices on
Brazil ain't gonna win that lawsuit. Forget that.
7-year-old consoles.
Okay. So are we not gonna talk about Xbox and PlayStation when they raise up their prices? No, we're not doing that now. Oh, okay.
Here we are. So 3 months later, let me tell you where I'm at. After all this time, did I stick to my guns? Did I stay strong in the face of Donkey Kong temptation? Well, yeah, Nintendo has made my decision pretty easy, so let's break down exactly how. The Power World thing is kind of old news at this point. Actually, it's coming up on its year anniversary, I'm pretty sure. Nintendo sued them, forced changes to mechanics that people loved. But there have been some very interesting developments lately.
A new hand touches the beacon.
2 more companies recently dropped their version of Creature Collector games, and to be real with you, I am fascinated and terrified in equal measure. Hoyoverse, the people who make so much freaking money from Genshin Impact, just showed off Honkai Nexus Anima, which, yes,
bet
I
you they
agree
won't.
that
They
it
ain't gonna be a
rolls off the
problem.
tongue very nicely.
I don't think
Putting
it's
the
gonna
name
be a
aside,
problem.
it is everything that you would want in a creature collector, but here's the
Yeah.
thing. I could not just sit back and enjoy the trailer like a normal person. Instead, I was sitting there with my little legal analysis hat on thinking, all right, you can summon the creature. That's probably fine. You mount it.
Again, if you go to the last one, most of the stuff they you talk about wasn't that. And again, everybody talk about Power World. Forgot they literally AI some of the characters from Pokemon. Whatever. And here's the thing: there are games out there that you can collect animals. They're out there. Digimon is one of them. So is Dagon, Monster Hunter, and multiple games on a cell phone, and Nintendo thing. See, this is where y'all the legal hat. No, keep your legal hat out of it because you don't know shit from Shinola. Jeez.
I don't know. That's definitely in Nintendo's patent. You can fly on
No,
it.
it ain't.
Yeah, it's getting a
good grief.
lawsuit. And it
It's
was like
not.
watching a beautiful car drive straight towards a cliff. And then there's
Okay.
Animo. And honestly, this one has me even more intrigued. From what I've seen, they're taking a slightly different approach. It's going to have more survival elements, more customization, and what looks like a very robust creature evolution system. And
I see it.
I will not lie. It looks like the kind of game that I would lose entire weekends to, and probably a lot of money to, so I am really hoping that it is not riddled with predatory microtransactions because my self-control could use some work
I
when it comes to
guarantee-
cute digital pets. But watching
See, here's the funny thing: is when people say this like that, predatory action, whatever. Okay, so when those games come out and they have loot boxes and all the stuff like that, I hope y'all gonna make these grand videos like, yeah, it's a great game, but and some of y'all don't, some do. I'll give you that. Let's see.
both of these reveals recently, I had this moment where I realized how messed up the situation has become. Here are two
Really?
totally different companies. One with massive resources, one very clearly passionate about their project, showing off mechanics that look incredible, innovative, fun, and instead of being able to just be excited about it, I was sitting here playing patent lawyer bingo. And it's wild because
You're
for
not a
years,
lawyer, stop
literally
it.
years, everyone has been saying Pokemon needs real competition. Game Freak
Okay.
needs to be pushed to innovate. Then we saw what happened with Power World. It lit a fire underneath the whole genre. People got excited about creature collectors again, and apparently what has happened
Yeah, running around shooting. So, again, not my cup of tea anyway. So it's what it is. Again, I don't understand why we gotta have whatever, but not my cup of tea. But yes, that's what I want. As me, I only talking for me. It's me as a parent. If I had a child and stuff like that, and I play Pokemon again, Scarlet and Violet. Those were trash. I was never gonna. Those are whatever. My favorite game in the more moderate age of Pokemon was Sword and Shield. Why? Because I out from a person who played the original game and saw it should have been up. That's the ending is what I wanted. It makes sense, and they did a good job of that. A lot of people, oh no, it did a good job in that. But again, that's preference, that's opinion. But that's as far as I would go. Digimon, yeah, I'll put some Digimon if my child wanted with that. Power World, hell's not when I put my child play Power World. I want them to play Fortnite. Oh, yeah, I'm not paying for skins games. You would kiss me with that. You would miss me with that nonsense.
to Power World has not deterred these other developers, and honestly, good for them. Now we are finally getting companies with actual resources willing to try something in that space. Hoyoverse has that we can fight Nintendo in court and not even notice the legal fees type money. They have international reach, experienced legal teams, and a track record of taking on established giants. If Nintendo does decide to go after them, it would definitely be a very different kind of legal battle than the Power World situation. IP expert Florian Mueller looked at the Hoyoverse game and said that it clearly infringes on Nintendo's newly revised patent. You know, the one that they ended up changing like mid-trial during the Power World case. The one that now covers basically any rideable flying creatures in games, which is just, it's dumb. It's very dumb that
But if
we're at
that's
a
the case,
point where
then-
riding a fictional animal.
If that's the case, then Capcom, then why didn't they get sued? Something's amiss there. Because in Monster Hunter Stories, I fly a riding monster. I swim on a riding monster. I do stuff on monsters in that. So Something's amiss in this. That's all I'm saying.
is somehow patentable, but I digress, because here is what is different this time. If Nintendo does try to enforce this against HoYoverse, we might actually get some clarity on whether or not these patents hold up against a company that can't afford to fight back. Part of me is almost hoping that they do try, because it would be really nice to see Nintendo get a taste of their own medicine. But patents are just the beginning.
How? How they gonna? What? So they gonna make the game and sue Nintendo? That? Okay, whatever.
Nintendo looked at that situation and thought, you know what? We are not controlling enough things yet. For a quick recap, Nintendo's terms allow them to permanently brick switch to hardware.
As I said before, that's been happening since 2006. You mess with the console, it'll be brick. We did that. Ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing new. The Wii did that. The Wii U did that. The Switch did that. You're 20 years behind the mark, sweetheart.
If they have decided that you violated their rules. This got so bad after release that Brazil's Consumer Protection Agency called this abusive and gave them 20 days to rewrite it or face a lawsuit.
Yeah, that was a while. And how did that went?
You have been crickets at this point, so I feel like you might have just been blowing
Yeah, because nothing happened.
hot air. But here is the fresh nightmare and something that I just learned about from a Linus Tech Tips video the other day. They actually encrypted the switch to USB-C port. Yes.
Yes.
Nintendo took a universal standard port and added encryption specifically to lock out.
Yes, there are other companies that does that. Epson has done that. Car makers have done that because they want to use Android and stuff like that. In some cars, they want to go to their own system. They don't want to use Android Play or iPlay. All right. Can you believe it? That there are people out there that have that. Like I said, Epson has done that. Canon has done that. So the printer companies have done that because they want to use a certain situation and priority in how things are being done. Well, let's go base for base. The USB port that they locked out was for their thing. Am I missing something? The USB port was locked out on their console. You could still use USB. You could use USB to charge the console. But if you want the signal which only works on the dock end to dock it, so you could play it on the TV. As I said before, why not buy you buy that switch with a dock anyway? Why? Why y'all making it so harder than it needs to be? Seriously.
Most third-party accessories claiming piracy protection.
Yes, and the video will that same video I responded to is gonna be on the channel. I already done did it, but I gotta edit something because it got chopped because of it's just stupidity. It got chopped up, so I have to blend it too. But majority of it is basically done. The ending part has to be set up, yeah.
Or whatever it is that they always say. Now, I have been using third-party docks for my original Switch for years because Nintendo's original dock scratched my screen, and honestly,
It scratched your screen. It scratched your screen. My screen has never been scratched by me putting it into the dock. I don't know. Maybe I must. And I don't even put it in as more careful than it needs to be. But my screen never been scratched. I know that because my original Switch that I have, I don't see no marks on it, whatever. You just put it straight down and it's no problem.
it's just not that great to use. So when I heard that they encrypted the new port to prevent that, my mind was kind of just blown a little bit. Companies like
To prevent. That's not what. Oh, good lord.
Saw and other third-party manufacturers have had to pause production on Switch 2 products because Nintendo's encryption just breaks their stuff. Nintendo looked at a universal standard and said, actually no, that's not universal anymore. Only our approved accessories work. Like, just think about that for a second. It is your $450 console that you bought and paid for, but
Correct.
Nintendo gets to decide what cable
That came with a dock that you use to put the TV in, to play on TV. It comes with everything you need. What? Again, I must be missing something here.
you can plug into it, even though it's USB-C, and that is supposed to be, for the most part, universal. This really is the greed they talk about in the Bible. This is
No, it's
not about
not.
preventing piracy.
Oh,
This is
okay, all right, chick. You gotta don't bring the laws into this. This is reading the Bible. Shut it. We're gonna check your child to see certain things, but I ain't playing that nonsense. No. You did a video. You say you're not gonna buy it. Good. You didn't buy it. Great. You don't gotta worry about that. You said, "Oh, you missed out on Donkey Kong. That's all good." What you gonna do? Unless you're gonna play it, you're gonna do what? You're gonna emulate it, which again, stealing. If you do that, so it's kind of like, yeah, you're higher than thou. Where? But anyway, you choose not to do it. That's good. Move on. That's what I was like. Yeah, you made a video, and I've said again, if people made a video and say what they said, and again, most of our preferences, I didn't argue it. I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna make a video about this because it's not worth it. That's your choice. You didn't buy it. You if you don't like it, you don't buy it, which is my saying, and I'm cool with that. But some of the arbitrary stuff is just killing me. Like I'm telling you right now, why don't buy Xbox One? And I ain't got 50 videos on it, whatever. Here's a joke. I don't own my games because it's mostly always online or install in certain situations. Yes, you could do the same thing like a PlayStation 5, but that's not the number one reason, but that's part of the reason. Number two reason I ain't buy Xbox. There's no games I want. Why would I buy a game system for games I don't want? So if there's no games on Nintendo that you don't want, it's the same thing with Xbox. There's no games on Xbox that made me say, yeah, I want to buy that. No. Well, you go buy an Xbox Pass, it'd be cheaper. No, because I don't own a game still, and I don't care, to play on that. And then you can play everywhere and everything. Oh, nothing there makes me say, "Ooh, I gotta get that." Other people with preferences. They love Xbox. They got Xbox people who love them, and go ahead and enjoy your Xbox. Even though their games is the thing that I would like to buy, and we've seen it shut down studios as a studio, as I've done many videos and laid out hundreds and thousands of people. But Xbox is still fine. Yeah, sure, okay. All other companies has gone. PlayStation 2 has gone. This is going inside next year. Might push for third party. Then they're gonna be third party other consoles. They might put some games on Nintendo's console and stuff like that. Good for them, whatever. And people are like, oh, Nintendo should do the exact same thing. No, they should. If I tell you the truth, I don't think Sony should do that too. But Sony has gone. Sony does not have the console is a console, but their game library of exclusive on PlayStation 5 literally sucks ass. I've got mostly all of them I say all of them because some of them still trashy game. But for my tasting, is games that I have on a PlayStation. Now, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. They're exclusive. There's not a big library out there that made me go. I got 10 games now. I got other games that I could get, Nathan Jake and other stuff, but all those games are now going on PC. Now I'm gonna get the PlayStation version because it's just better on the PlayStation. I don't want to go PC. PC I've said it many times before, but yeah, whatever.
about Nintendo deciding that even something as basic as what dock you prefer should always go through them first. And if you bypass their encryption, well, refer back to that whole console bricking thing. Now let's talk about what happened to those affordable options Doug Bowser mentioned when the Switch 2 first launched. You remember that too, right? When he suggested people could just stick with the original Switch if the new one was too pricey? Well,
Yeah.
about that. For the first time in industry history, Nintendo raised prices on their old models. The basic Switch
Sony and
jumped
Microsoft
from
did it
$299 to $339, and the OLED went
Sony and Microsoft did it first, but again, nobody want to talk about that shit. Go and Google it, you'll see. Oh man, y'all are full of it.
from $349 to $399. So now the budget option is only $50 less than the Switch 2. And the
Yeah,
excuse that they gave us were tariffs and market conditions. And
it
to be
is.
fair, they were not alone in this decision. Sony and Microsoft did the exact same thing. But here
No freaking shit. So why is that? You can't make this shit up. Sony and Microsoft did the exact same thing. Yeah, they did it before Nintendo. So what? So are you gonna go and say, well, they did that, so there's no option? Are we gonna be doing that? Let's see, man.
here's what
Let me
really
wind back a
the
little
Switch
bit,
2.
but let's see.
And the excuse that they gave us were tariffs and market conditions. And to be fair, they were not alone in this decision. Sony and Microsoft did the exact same thing. But here's what really gets me though. The original Switch has been using the same 7-year-old components that were
No,
not
it
even
ain't.
cutting edge when they first launched. And
No, it's not. It has been upgraded 2 years after it. So it ain't 7 years, it's 5 years. And even if it's that, I said it once, I said it again. No, I said it again. I said it once, I said it again in another video, but chips are now, the tariffs is not really, is a problem, but the tariffs ain't the problem. The problem is the chip making. Microchip now are being used for too much stuff now. We use custom chips, which takes a lot more money, and those custom chips and TMNC and all those and making wafers, they're allocating what needs to go whatever. So it's different. We're in a different market now. We were not a computer basic centric country back in the 80s to 90s. We had computers, we had stuff. Don't get me wrong. But not everybody has it in their phones. Everybody has it in this. We didn't have it. So now they have to they have to pay higher money for the stock or prioritize who. Toyota gets it for their car chips. Tesla gets it for their car chips. Blah, 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 blah. All that is all into it now. They're not using simple chips. Again, a good example is that. Go look at your graphics cards and stuff like that. Remember, in 2020, when the market went crappy, when COVID hit, graphic cards went crazy prices, right? Super crazy prices, and they have not come down. They've come down, but not come down back to an average. The average setup, it's still up there. A daggone 570s, 80 is $800. Yeah, nah. Now I bought my 470 Super for less than that. Thank goodness. In a different spot, but they're doing crazy stuff now, and these people don't know that the market has changed a lot.
with the economics of scale from being one of the best-selling consoles in history, theoretically, Nintendo's production costs should have gone down, not up.
No,
But
it went
now
up.
the budget option that Bowser recommended costs more than I originally paid for the premium model 7 years ago. And while they've raised prices on the old hardware, we cannot forget that they also set the new gold standard for game pricing with that $80 Mario Kart World. While Nintendo is out here patent trolling flying creatures and encrypting USB ports,
Says the people again. So use the $90 for what was it again? I forgot the daggone game. Not Justice League, Suicide Squad, the $90, or the Crew, who the $120 if you want to play it early, or say there's Cyberpunk and want to play early. That don't work, huh? That don't count, huh? Okay. So just a couple days and again, I'm not blaming the company. I'm blaming the consumers on that one. Wait, $80 a Mario Kart. You can get Mario Kart for $74 at some box stores. Now you get in certain games, no, because they ain't playing that no more. But again, you don't have to buy Mario Kart right now. Shoot, there's videos coming on this channel, and you're gonna see this week talking about Sonic Crossword Racing is gonna beat Mario Kart. It's no contest, bar none. That's the best car racing game ever made, and Nintendo is dropping the ball on that. Okay, we'll see. by the end of the generation, who sell the most, we'll see.
And charging $80 for Mario Kart, other companies are showing us what the alternative looks like. I would love to take a quick second to congratulate Team Cherry on their launch of Hollow Knight Silksong, which is one of the most anticipated sequels in indie gaming in history. And what did they launch it at? $20. With the massive success of the first game, in my opinion, they probably could have charged $30 or even a little bit more for the sequel. Instead,
hey, here's the thing. I have no problem. Since you guys produce it, y'all know what your price was, you know what the work is. It took a while. I guarantee you, you don't have a lot of overhead as a big corporation and stuff, which is a good thing. And Silksong, I have nothing against it at all. It's doing good, great. I wish you the best in all the sales, and still go up there and do it just as good as you did in Hollow Knight. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. But scale to scale, that's what it is. Okay, if Grand Theft Auto comes out and Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, the base game, which we know basically is nothing, but the base game comes out for $50 or $60. Let's go with that, $60. Okay, then you might got something. Let's see what happens there. And Nintendo jumped the gun. And bad Nintendo for charging $80 for Mario Kart, bring the price down, blah, blah, blah. And if they bring the price down, they bring the price down. I'm not against that the price should come down if it comes down. People get it twisted in my comments. They go, you like it is up there. No, I just know how the market is. But if Nintendo brings the price down to $60, good. They sell more, get people in. And that's not doing nothing for me other than I'm good. I already got the game, so hell. That's all it is.
They made the decision that $20 felt right for what they were delivering. That is trusting and respecting your audience base. That is saying that we believe our game is so good, there is zero reason to price hike it. And I have mentioned these at length at this point, but other games are doing this too. Baldur's Gate 3, Hi-Fi Rush, Lies of P, Clair Obscur.
Oh yeah, Hi-Fi Rush, how that went? Studio got shut down. Anything? The same thing with Life of P. Oh, how'd that go? Keep on going. And then, again, Baldur's Gate is a good game to what everybody wants it to be, so I can't deny that because that's not my style of gaming, so yeah.
Incredible games with real creative vision launching at or below $60. These developers, some of them which are very small, are taking big risks and somehow still finding ways to be way more accessible than Nintendo's 17th Mario Kart. The contrast is just really sad. Nintendo's first-party lineup for the rest of the year going into 2026 is looking pretty bare bones at this point, but they continue to spend so much more energy and money on lawsuits rather than innovation.
Well, that's a lie right there, too. It's bare bones. Okay, bare bones. Is it more bare bones than the Switch 1? Yes, I will say that. Is it more bare bones than PlayStation and Sony for the PlayStation, Sony for the year, and Xbox for the year? Nah. No, it's not. No, it's not. Not if, not as, no buts. First party games, they got it. Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, Metroid, Hyrule Warriors, Pokemon, Kirby Air Riders. What else I got? Kirby Air Riders. 7 games. 7 brand new games. That are exclusives. Please tell me 7 exclusives on Xbox that's coming out this year. 7 exclusives coming out on the Switch this year, on PlayStation this year. Hell, Steam Deck. Wait, hold up. Let me hear it. Nothing? Okay then. Gee.
More time encrypting universal ports than creating games. And then you have teams like Cherry, who have spent the last 7 years working to make something incredible and trusting that the quality will speak for itself. So here is where I'm at 3 months after my very public Nintendo breakup. I don't regret it. Not
Good for
even
you.
a little bit. If
I'm happy
anything,
for you.
having this distance from them has given me more clarity because
Good.
every patent lawsuit development, every encrypted port, every console bricking, every price increase just reinforces
Stop it,
that
Alex.
Nintendo has fundamentally lost the plot. And like I
Not
came
really.
to discover in my first video, this
Not
is
really.
not just corporate overreach or only anti-consumer behavior. It is
Good, and I'm for
systematic
anti-consumer.
control over every aspect of how we interact with their products, and it has only gotten worse. And that girl who ugly cried at the Breath of the Wild trailer is still in here. Deep down in her heart, she
Really?
still believes in that Nintendo magic. But
Okay.
she is also tired of watching a company choose control over creativity, litigation over innovation every time. And my
Says the
hope
pr-
is that
okay.
Nintendo could change
Okay.
course tomorrow if they wanted to. And I would want nothing more than
Nah, I'm not listening to the rest of this stuff here. No. Okay, so we got that. So you got that. Okay. Nintendo's in trouble. We just watched that. Milk and No Men. Disney abandoned men, but now want that. Let's see. Roblox is actually disgusting. You think? Okay. Can we get more characters like this? Western games are doomed. Okay. Why do they keep doing this? I wonder why. Disney does not want you to watch this. Freedom from tyranny. Stop killing games. How are they killing? What the frick? Chick, what are you talking about? How are they killing games? Hold up. Really? Something's fishy about this, but I'll let it be what it is. If anybody could see what I'm seeing, you're thinking something's weird about this, but I'll leave it alone. I don't want to say something. So let's answer her what Nintendo's killing.
In the
Let's see what
spirit
she
of
said.
Independence Day, we're celebrating the most American thing possible. A good old-fashioned call for revolution. Listen, I'm a
Let's
simple
hear it.
gal, okay? I love barbecue, fireworks, and staying up until 3 a.m. grinding for that 1% drop that just never seems to drop.
Never
But
me.
you know what I
Thank
love
God.
even more? Freedom. And lately, that's been feeling pretty rare in the gaming world. Now, you've probably heard the phrase, you will own nothing and be happy about it. Well,
Yeah.
guess what? The gaming industry has overwhelmingly taken that as a business plan, and frankly, I'm not happy about it. So today,
Okay.
we're drafting our own declaration of player independence, not from Britain, but from gaming tyrants who've decided our favorite hobby needed more corporate control and fewer actual rights. Because somewhere
Okay.
between buying games you can't actually own and players spending $450 on a console that can be bricked at any second at a company's whim, I'd like
Again with the nonsense. PlayStation has that clause as well too, and their consoles are way more expensive, including the Pro, and they could brick as well too. So stop it. And if Steam does that too. If Steam thinks that you are violating their stuff, they can brick it as well too. Their brick is more different than Nintendo. When Nintendo brick is you can't go online. Steam, your game is always online. You can lose your whole gaming library. So, pshaw.
to talk about what gaming freedom actually means. So
Really?
grab a sparkler,
Okay.
cue the fife and
Let's
drum,
see.
and let's read the grievances. I grew up believing that when you bought a game or a console, it was yours. My original
Yep.
copy of Ocarina of Time, much to Nintendo's dismay, I'm sure, still boots up every time 26 years later.
Yeah, my Metroid 2 for my Game Boy, to your chagrin, still boots up and play on my Game Boy right now. Can you believe that? Well, let me see. Let me see. My Donkey Kong Bonanza boots up every time I play. Why? Because the whole game is on a physical cartridge. So is Nintendo Mario Kart World. So is the Zeldas. So is you own your games with Nintendo. ma'am. So I don't know what you gonna bring this into.
That cartridge will probably outlive us all. That was true ownership. You could
Yeah.
trade it, lend it, keep it
What game-
forever, or
okay,
even
so
pass it
what
down to your
Nintendo game
kids. But the industry can
Yeah, it's the industry. Okay, what Nintendo game that comes out that I don't own? You guys see my library. That don't work.
continues to slowly boil us in this digital pot. First, they said digital is more convenient. And yes, honestly, as a PC player, I am all about my digital library. But then
There you
it was
go.
always online is for your protection. And now it's
Yep.
licensing is the future. We let them
Yep.
take that first inch, and now we're miles and miles down a road that
Thank
somehow
you.
most of us just accepted. Myself included.
Yes.
I've been guilty of being complacent.
Well, thank you. The best way to learn that you have a problem is to admit that you have a problem. That's why I buy physical games majority of the time, except for indies. I've said it before. Indies is the only one I'll give them respect. Like you just put up, like in the video you just said a little bit ago, you did Silk Song. I respect Silk Song. I will buy a digital version of Silk Song and maybe a physical version if you do a physical, because Hollow Knight has a physical too. So I don't do that. It doesn't bother me. But I was never that, ma'am. Well, you said you are, but I was never that. I bought my stuff. I want physical. I want to play this shit. I don't buy digital games unless it's indie. If it ain't indie, I ain't buying this shit.
When it comes to all of this, turning a blind eye to the overreach again and again. Over the years, we've traded true ownership for the illusion of it. And now
did.
we're living in an era where companies can just have a change of heart, flip a switch, and make your entire gaming library disappear. Where you
Disappear.
can get banned for using your own legal backups on a console you purchased. Where ownership has become code for pay full price to rent forever. While we
Yeah. I myself have no problem with the backup thing, but the problem is that comes out of it, and I did videos about it too. Excuse me. That's why people don't understand you could back it up, okay? And then people go out there. 'Cause people are not generally good. As Bowser found out, another Bowser found out, yeah, stop teaching people how to steal. And then those people showed how to sell the games for money. Yeah, they're hurting the system, you morons.
monitor everything that you do. And I don't know about you, but when I fell in love with this hobby, I didn't realize I was simultaneously signing up for digital serfdom. Which brings us to grievance number
Not
one.
me.
They have declared that what we buy shall never truly be ours and have convinced us to celebrate our own digital imprisonment. Let
Yeah,
me
that's
show
you
you
guys
something
do that,
personal,
not me.
okay? That is my digital treasure trove. Built over the last 10-ish years, worth hundreds of dollars, or maybe even thousands at this point, and countless memories. Just look at this whole collection. I've got everything from indie darlings that made me sob, Looking at You, To the Moon, to AAA disasters that I somehow still love. There's my comfort section, my I'll play this someday graveyard, and way too many cozy farming sims because apparently I have a type. And the brutal truth, one terms of service update, one corporate decision, and all of it can just disappear. Steam even warns us now that purchase grants a license, not property. In other words, I don't own my Arthur Morgan, my entire Resident Evil collection, or my library of indies. I rent them indefinitely at Valve's and publisher's discretion.
Okay, so you just explained you're the problem. So this is the thing. This is the biggest gripe I have with gamers. You ask for the shit, you do the problem, and then you blame the company for doing something that you have control over. That's why I say y'all are consumers. You consume everything. You don't be a customer. So unlike you, my lovely, again, minus the indie games, and here's the funny part: majority of the indie games that I own physically because I would go to, even though people don't like limited game runs, but when they do come out, I buy the limited game runs. Because unlike you, Missy, see, this is what I do. See, that's a Wii. That's DS. That's 3DS. That's a PlayStation down there. That's my. I bought the physical games My Wii U, my Nintendo. I bought the physical games of my stuff, so I own them. Me, I own them. I own them. I can play whatever I want, unless the game get destroyed or the system get destroyed. I can play whatever I want. Okay, so that's my library of games right there, physical, that I could play and have fun. And if anybody delisted a game, I could still play the damn game without no problem there. That's the difference between me and you. Check it out now. Check the difference. That's the difference between me and you. That I could have, let me see. Like I said, I got a Wii down there. I got PlayStation games. I have PlayStation Vita games. PlayStation Vita ain't been out for a while, but I still could go and play it. The Wii games have been out for a while. I could still go play it. GameCube games, I could still go play because I have those games still. Physical data. Most of those games up there you could see up there and talk about all this stuff, they're indie games that are digital, that had a physical release. Thank goodness for that. And I bought that. I bought Turtles. What's the new Turtles game? I bought it twice. The original one, the digital version. And if the game is worth it, I've said it before, I will buy I want to play the game right now, but I know there's gonna be a digital version behind it. I'm gonna do it. I bought the physical version of Street of Rage. I have 2 copies of Street of Rage, the Genesis version, the deluxe version, and anniversary edition. I got that. The same thing for what other game I have physically? Like I said, I have a bunch of games physically. Second on Rise to Ruin. I got digital. I got physical. Fighting Range. I have physical. I have digital. Because I'll support a person 2 ups if I have to. I speak. This thing in my pocket that has something, because again, I'm an old school person. This thing you can't see, but this thing in my pocket that has a couple of George Washingtons, couple Lincolns, couple Hamiltons, couple Andrew Jacksons. I don't have a Grant, but I do have a Benji in there. Money. And the funny part about it is, gaming, the way gaming has gone in the world, you talk about gaming, forget the world. Y'all are gonna destroy. Y'all want more. Y'all want more. You know why I'm against crypto? Because it's digital money. You don't own the money. At least with a tangible dollar note, I know I got $1. A tangible $100 note, I know I got $100. I know that. So this is my library compared to your digital library, which you just said. Steam themselves said they could take it away. Unless it's a fire, hurricane, some horrible happened to my house. God forbid, nothing. I'm knocking on wood. PlayStation games you see right there. You ain't coming to this house. Stealing, no, because if you come to my house, you get a little. I might go a little Resident Evil and blinky on you, because my wife is strapped and I'm strapped. We ain't playing that. But I'm just saying, there's a difference between our language. You're digital, majority digital. I am majority physical. 80% of my library is physical, maybe 20% because again, indies. There are some great indies out there. I cannot deny that. But if I could bump it up to 90% is physical because like I said, I bought a lot of physical games. If I was home right now, I'll show you. These games are physical. These indie games. They start off indies, but I got physical version of these games. Horizon Zero Chasers, digital. Bought the physical version when it came out. Shredder's Revenge, that's the only Turtles game. And I said that, bought the physical version of that game when it came out. sucking her up to the top. You're sucking a rice, not sucking a rice, I forgot the name again. Senua Kagura for the DS, which was a really good game. I'm not into all the flash shooting, into the tearing off clothes and all stuff. That's why I know that is that. But the action and fighting is pretty good, and I like it. And I have basically almost 100% in that game. Okay, that's the difference.
Library of indies. I rent them indefinitely at Valve's and publishers' discretion. I'm essentially paying to be a digital tenant who can be evicted at any time. But somehow we've collectively been gaslit into thinking this is normal behavior. Oh, old-fashioned. Think of the cloud. But somehow we've collectively been gaslit into thinking this is normal behavior. Oh, you want to actually own your games? How quaint. How old-fashioned. Think of the cloud. Well,
No. You wasn't gaslighted. Y'all kicked and screamed to have convenience. Sorry, I can't let that pass. Y'all kicked and screamed for that since 2012. Sorry. That's what you wanted. That's what you get. You want to have your cake and eat it? Well, go right ahead. Because, again, you go back to the beginning of my channel. I said this is not a good idea. Now, it took 10 years for it to basically come to light, but I saw it glimpse happen. I had debates with people about this. You ain't gonna like where it's gonna go. Oh, but I could play my game anytime. I could download it. I could play it anywhere. All I gotta do is, I said, yeah, and if the internet ain't working, you got a problem. And your credit card's on the file. They could rob, they could steal money from you. And I was like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. How much time have I been proven correct? There's a reason why I am the champ. I'm telling you. But let's keep going.
I'm not a tech person, but what I do know is that the cloud is essentially someone else's computer, and then that someone else can decide at any moment that you don't deserve access to the things that you paid for. It's like buying a book, but the bookstore can break into your house and just take it back whenever they feel like it.
Not really.
But here's the very encouraging news. Across the Atlantic, the revolution is making real progress.
That's a horrible analogy. It's like you rented a book from a bookstore and they could come do that. If you bought a book, they come to take your book. What craziness is that? Good grief.
No, surprisingly, or not surprisingly, it's not America that's leading this charge. I guess we've lost our revolutionary spirit. But the Stop Killing Games initiative, started by preservationists in the EU, notably the MPP,
stupid idea.
Ross, who is basically the hero we don't deserve. And they just hit its target of 1 million signatures. And now comes the hard part. They're about to have to go through an audit to see if it actually will go before the European Commission. The initiative is mostly focused on live service games, but their demands are beautifully simple. Require video games sold to remain in a working state when support ends. Require no connections to the publisher after support ends. And very importantly, do not interfere with any business practices while a game is still being supported. The core idea? Don't destroy what we already paid for when you're done with it. And honestly,
how about you just don't buy the game? The reason the guy did this is because of the crew. The crew is always online. They told you up front that this is always an online game. And you want them to, the frig. You speak with your wallet by not buying the game, you idiots. So, fuck off. I don't believe in that. No. If they told you the truth from the beginning, you go with that from the beginning. If you didn't want to buy that, you should not buy that at all. Jesus, stupid.
Need this law because the body count is only growing at this point. Do you remember when Ubisoft pulled the plug on The Crew in March 2024, making physical discs instantly worthless, no offline mode, it was just totally gone. Nintendo.
Maybe you should have never had. Oh hell no, she ain't gonna say about Nintendo with the 3DS. Bitch, is you serious? Are you serious? So, let me get this straight. They should run the online for 3DS, Wii U, Switch 2 for the rest of their life? Fuck off.
Nintendo closed down all 3DS and Wii U online services shortly after that, nuking leaderboards and multiplayer for thousands of titles. EA's Dodge Brawler Knockout City went dark just 2 years after launch, and fans now have to pirate audit their own servers just to play a single match. And Epic's Wrestling Royale Rumbleverse lasted barely a year before vanishing behind a 404 error. So yes, this initiative asked companies
because it takes money. Ladies, you bitching about money coming to you, but it takes money to run the servers. Are you going to pay the power bill and the server and all the stuff to get it working? No, it's not. You're not. So stop it. Get some help.
To do something truly radical. Stop actively destroying the products we spend money on,
They're
whether
not.
it's with an upfront.
No, it's not. The consumers is the one who's destroying the products. Y'all are the ones who's destroying the products. Y'all stupidly buy games that's always online, bad practices, broken, whatever, and you reward the dumb shit with your money. And then the shit that's good or whatever, y'all bitch about it the dumbest of ways. You just prove my point. Oh, you go away. You said you buy a Switch too, and you got it. That's good. Go away. Play your the games that you own. The Nintendo games you own. Play the stuff that you have. All right, but go away now. Shoo. Go away. Cause listening to how you play stuff proves that you are part of the problem. But you want a part of the problem, but you blame the company who tried to keep the solution? How that work?
Purchase or an in-game purchase. If this initiative passes the audit, there is a chance that the European Commission could actually consider legislation to protect our rights to keep the games that we've purchased. Revolutionary concept, I know, but we can do more than just sign petitions. We can work to support DRM-free platforms like GOG. They actually let you own your games, and every purchase that supports true ownership sends a message that we value actually owning our stuff. But even when players try to purchase games physically, even when they buy actual hardware with their own money, the own nothing philosophy has found new ways to reach us. Grievance number 2. They have subjected brand new consoles to cruel and unusual bricking, claiming to protect us by destroying our property. Now, if you've been here a little bit, you know my complicated relationship with Nintendo. Between their questionable business ethics,
Nintendo was like, yeah, get away from me, whore.
DMCA strikes, poorly managed legacy content, and general resentment towards their fan base. I was already pretty bummed out. Then came a wave of Switch 2 horror stories that honestly just blew my mind.
Not really.
Games Radar collected multiple posts from owners whose fresh out of the box consoles triggered error 2124 of 4508, an irreversible hardware ban, simply for slotting in a mega cartridge filled with their own legally dumped games. Their own games that they already owned and had paid for.
No, again, I'm not against that. But here's the dumb part. Nintendo told you not to do this, so I'm not gonna do it. I just bought the game with this. I am all for sure cool that you could back up your game and make another copy of the game and play the game. The problem is though, asswipes sell the damn make switch and stuff like that, and sometimes people dumb enough from Etsy and whatever buy the game and put it in their console and brick it. Again, it's not fully brick. It's only again, another video about it. It's not fully brick. You just ain't online to get any updates or get anything from online from Nintendo. That's it. You can still play the game. If you're a physical game, you can still play the game on the cartridge, on the console. So, force you to do that shit, don't it? Funny enough, it forced you to become a physical game owner. Ban Nintendo. Ban Nintendo. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Just sucks, don't it? Actually sucks. That Nintendo would do something like that. Can you believe it? And look, and here's the dumb part. Do she not, you put, people are stupid. People are stupid. Look at what you put up, my dear. Nintendo launches open salvo war against Switch 2 game pirates as Meg Switch users report online service ban. Against what? Pirates. So Nintendo should not protect their shit. Oh my god, it's so stupid.
Some fans were even defending and championing
Yes, I
Nintendo
am.
on this behavior.
I am.
I've seen comments to the tune.
I am one of them. Outside, I have nothing against the make that you go back up your game and you play a game. I wish it was that easy, but because we know people will sell the shit and sell it and make and hurt profits, which has been proven over and over and over and over. I mean, the last pain in the ass was that damn kid in Denver talking about, oh, Nintendo gonna come after me. They ain't got no, they can't do nothing against me. Okay, I hope they find his ass and whatever. Okay, he's dumping Zelda games before the Zelda came out. Kind of fucked up. And that's not, and yeah, no. Switch to permanent, so permanent that not even Nintendo itself could overturn them. As one username, Twink discovered to their horror. Maybe you should not get banned. I need to read the story. Did you bought I'll tell you this right here. Here's my solution. Do not buy a used Switch unless you see it plays game and go, unless you can see it go online. If it cannot go online, excuse me, do not buy a used Switch. You gotta see it yourself. I want to see that Switch go online. If that's online, if you don't go online, no. 1, 2. Don't buy shitty stuff like that. Buy official games. It's so bad that y'all talk about, oh, we don't want this, but y'all will spend extra money to go on to steal and cheat and do the other way. So weird. That's the part about consumers I don't understand.
Of, well, that's what you get for not listening. Nintendo told you not to do this, and
Exactly.
you did it anyway. Okay, Dad. I mean, we've some serious loyalists around here. Now, to be clear,
Yes,
this is
chick.
not new behavior from Nintendo.
Says the woman who's a PC, and if Steam fuck come over, and she gonna be like, oh, Miss Steam, don't take my games. Why, Steam? Why did you take my games? Because we can. And you put money into that platform. So shut up, chick.
They've been strict on console bricking for years. And
Yes.
Sony, might I add. Yes, I'm calling them out too.
And Xbox. All of them has done it. So what do you see? This is the part that kills me. You put it up front saying that. Just say, hey, they've been breaking consoles. Here's the thing, like it was me. They've been breaking consoles since 2000. Sony, Nintendo, and Xbox have been breaking consoles. The Xbox 360 has done it. The Xbox One has done it. The Wii has done it. Wii U has done it. PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 has done it. Yeah, they're breaking the consoles if you go past terms of services. That's the way I would have said it. But everybody like, oh, Nintendo. And, oh, yeah, but Xbox and PlayStation do it too. The frig? Huh?
Who can also ban PlayStations from the PlayStation Network for a terms of service strike. But the
Yes.
Nintendo situation has gotten so bad that an entire country has taken notice. That's right. The beacons were lit, gamers called for aid, and Brazil answered. Procon SP,
Oh my
Brazil's
god. It ain't gonna do nothing. Y'all are so... Guys, how much videos have I done for since the Switch to come? And I've done videos that talk about Brazil. Like, they are literally... There's so much wanted to be destroyed. They're gripping on the edges of the cliff with their fingers to say, give me something, give me a little bit of rope. Oh, okay, there you go. This is bad. Let me just put all this in the video 55,000 times. It ain't gonna do nothing. I'm telling you, it ain't gonna do nothing. It don't make enough money for them to worry. That's one. Because the money does not make enough sense for the Japan money anyway. And two, if it does happen, like I said, that's what if it happens. And in most cases, it ain't gonna do nothing. Brazil, one country. If it was America, I could see you say something. But Brazil, that's a drop in the bucket. And to my Brazilian people out there, because I do see a good 10% of y'all watch the videos. Nothing against y'all at all. I've been to Brazil. I had my fun down there. Did my little when the World Cup, when y'all won the World Cup in 2006. I was there 2004, yeah. And 4 or 2, sorry, 2002, sorry. And I was jumping around enjoying y'all when y'all did that and have fun. So I've been in Brazil, had my fun on it. Y'all women are fine as hell too. So I don't say that. But anyway, done that. I'm not against that. Two of my last games I bought last year was from a Brazil team. People who did Horizon and Top Races. Top game, but not Top Racer. I love those games. I've been playing those games since last year too. I bought a physical version of that game as well too. And I have the original version of Top Gear for my Super Nintendo. Imagine that. So I have that. Point taken though. Yeah. This is nothing. This is a nothing burger.
Consumer Rights Watchdog has formally notified Nintendo that its Switch 2 EULA is abusive and set a 20-day deadline to rewrite it. And they gave them a warning that a full lawsuit would follow if the company refuses. Think about that for a second. You can drop $500,000.
Sweetheart. I was talking about that. That thing happened back in May. We're in September. Where's that story went?
That its Switch 2 EULA is abusive and set a 20-day deadline to rewrite it. And they gave them a warning that a full lawsuit would follow if the company refuses. Think about that for a second. You can drop $500,000 on hardware and the vendor can brick it permanently at any time if they feel like it. That alone is crazy, but the fact that we now have a country's consumer rights representative actually going after Nintendo for it, this timeline is just too good. And while those kill Switch lawsuits are simmering, Nintendo has happily crowned themselves the kings of the $80 cart with Mario Kart World. And Microsoft, their loyal subject, apparently has stepped in line right behind them, announcing that The Outer Worlds 2 will be their first
They have said they were gonna do that before Nintendo released the thing. These companies, they don't do this on a whim. They do this years figuring that out. So, boo-hoo. Again, don't buy the game. You say you don't buy it. You have not bought a Switch 2? You're not bought none of the games. Of course, you can't without switching by the game. That's a good thing. Don't buy Nintendo. Don't give into their greedy practice, with quotation marks I have, compared to other companies. Don't buy into it. Play your old stuff. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. Again, I have enough Switch games to last me a lifetime. You're correct, man, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jam my Switch 1 and try to go back to my Wii U, my Wii games that I ain't beat, and play and have fun too.
$80 Xbox title. It has begun. This is the you will own nothing future in action.
Really.
Spend more money, get fewer rights, accept corporate kill switches on your personal property, and somehow still thank them for the privilege. So what can we do about this console tyranny? Support developers and platforms that respect ownership rights, back right to repair movements, and honestly, consider supporting companies that don't treat their customers like potential criminals.
Yeah, I'll support Nintendo because they're not treating me like no criminal. I bought the console to do exactly what the console is supposed to do. Play games. That's all I do. I don't try to do no back tearing, no craziness. My backup is basically buying a cartridge. I may buy 2 cartridges if I need to. That's it. Sorry, but I just go the easy route, which is that. Not the hard-headed route like you did.
That's probably an easy start. But the own nothing mentality goes even deeper than our games and consoles. It's infected the very heart of game development itself. And honestly, everything we've talked about so far is just the result of this deeper problem. Grievance number 3. They have declared that consumers shall have no voice in the industry they fund. Think about it like a funnel. At the top, there's total corporate control. They decide the pricing, what games get made, what goes into those games, and we don't get a say in any of it.
You have a say in, see? You're right, consumers. Yes, I'm not for that. You have a say in it. Don't give them your money, you moron. Why is that so hard? You've done it. You say you're not giving Nintendo the money. And you're not buying a Switch, right? Good. Can you do it for the other consoles that does you like that? You have a saying. Don't buy If you don't like it, don't buy it. But you didn't like the Nintendo Switch and stuff, take the Nintendo out of it now. Follow your own advice. And don't buy the stuff that other consoles and other companies do. You have something to say. It's called money. Don't give it to them.
Control flows down to the next level when we give feedback. We're told we're wrong, and things we don't want get forced into our games anyway.
Don't give them
then
money.
when those games inevitably flop, the blame continues to flow right on down to us. And at the very bottom of that funnel, there we are.
Ubisoft, he's giving more blames gamers for the failure of Assassin's Creed Shadows. I think he's giving us a piece of crap, and I think he's wrong. But here's one thing I'll say this. If y'all keep on buying the game over and over again, and he saw that y'all took the practices that ain't bad, what you want him to say? It's like, wow, for 10,000 years, when it rains, this river gets water. This year, there's no water. And it rained 50 days out of the year. I said, no water. I might need to go to find out what's the problem, or I might need to go to find another place to the river. But when consumers keep on giving them everything they want, including streamers and shit like that, what do you expect?
Not being able to actually own the products we buy. The digital licensing, the console bricking, the server shutdowns, they're all just the final result of an industry that's decided we don't deserve a voice in anything. I really don't understand it, because what other market operates like this besides the entertainment industry?
What other market does that? The entertainment. Okay, you say entertainment, so I give it like I can't say movies and stuff because I was gonna say that. Music, same thing. Entertainment does the same thing as well too. Bricking certain things. There's some car companies that you cannot get into their software and stuff like that. That happens as well too. There's some softwares like I'll give you an example. Like I said, I'm a job with AutoCAD. AutoCAD, yeah. We use a later version of AutoCAD because the newer version, you gotta pay thousands and thousands of dollars every year for the freaking license. So what my boss does is, F that, we're gonna use the old version and we're gonna use that and try to keep up with everybody else. And so far, we have done that. We have kept up with everybody else. So much that we're one of the premier architect firms in the city we're in, which is a big city. So everybody knows, oh, this company, oh, we got to go to this company. So we're doing good with some older materials. I can tell you that right now.
Other business tells its customers what they want and then blames them when it doesn't work. Thankfully, we're starting to see more people speak out, and more of us are starting to vote with our wallets. The Stop Killing Games petition.
Are you really? Are you really? Are you serious? Y'all talking with y'all wallets? We'll see. I don't see it.
Didn't just appear out of nowhere. It started because people got fed up with losing access to games that they paid for. And despite how frustrating this whole situation can be, the beautiful thing about all of this is that well-crafted games will always find their audience. They always have, they always will.
Correct.
All of this actually makes that even more likely. And we're seeing
Correct.
more and more gamers that choose to support studios who relinquish some of this control to form trusted relationships with their fans. Despite what the industry at large thinks, we are not powerless here. The choice is ours to make. Gaming freedom can mean different things to different people, but for me, it's knowing that the games you loved, the stories that shaped you, and characters you'll always remember will still be there tomorrow and the day after that. It means that companies listen to their consumers and make games that reflect what we, the players, want and are asking for. This freedom can absolutely exist.
Here's the problem. They asked for it, and now you don't like what you asked for. That's the problem. And you proved it at the beginning of this video. You bought digital a lot, and you're surprised that it turned it off. I thought see, that's what I'm saying. You asked for it, you shall receive, and you received it. Jeez.
It requires us to reject the own nothing future that they're trying to sell us. And we
Good
shouldn't
luck
have
for
to
you.
accept a world where that magic is locked away behind licensing, where it can be revoked by corporate whim. Let's fight for an industry where our voice actually matters and makes a difference in the content being produced. My EU and UK friends, if you feel so inclined, I highly recommend checking.
I'll leave it at that. It ain't gonna happen. 2, you're part of the problem, but you don't see it. You're surprised by the shit. And all you've talked about is crazy nonsense, young lady. I'm sorry about it. Buy your games, enjoy them. You have more subscribers than my channel, because I don't, like I said, I do this for fun. I don't do this for whatever and editing and all that stuff. Good for you, but you are part of the problem, and now you want other people to fix the problem that you are part of. I don't like that. Buy physical. That's all I can tell you. Don't buy any console, any games you don't feel like you need to buy at all. I don't care if it's Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, Steam, whatever. Do not buy a game. You think the game is not worth it? Don't buy it. There's a lot of games out there that I see that I don't buy, and I don't come on the internet and say, "Oh, I ain't buying this game because this. I ain't buying the game because this." I just put out the stuff, whatever, and go. That's why when I do my review discussions, when I do the review discussion games and stuff like that, I talk about them because they're good games and I bought them. And I'm biased because I was going to buy them anyway. Over my last 20 years of gaming, there's been 5 games I could think of. 5 games off the top of my head that I regret buying because the content wasn't worth it. They fixed the game in a way that I was like, oh, it's not as fun as it used to be, and the game was lied to not to be what it is. A couple of them was indies, so it is what it is. I eat the dust. I eat the king on that because it's not physical, whatever. Some was physical. Quarter Princess, yes, I got a better frame rate on the Switch, or maybe on PlayStation, whatever. If it's on that, the new Quarter Princess remastered. But the 3 years version is the way superior, better one. It has frame rate problems, I know it, but the story and the gameplay was just way more better for me. Yes, not a gameplay of how they move, how they do certain moves, how they could do the skill, everything was open. I could choose what I want, while the other game just like locks me in. I'm like, I don't like that fun stuff like that. Shadow the Hedgehog still is the one game in my life I've ever returned back to a store. I bought it, played it, I was like, what? And I returned it. Only game in my life I've ever returned. Spoke with my wallet. I don't want this. Keep that. No, I don't want it. No, I don't need it. Go ahead. I don't need that. Sorry. Thank you. That's the difference, people. Just buy the games that you like and don't buy the games you don't like. And the YouTubers, yes. You want to say one game is whatever and stuff like that. You have of course, freedom of speech. You can say what you want to say, have that. But stop coming with cockamamie ideas and lies and stuff like that. Like this lady said, what she said is proven when she bought all the games digitally. You're proving my point, chick. So it's like, why? It's not even bothersome. But it is what it is. I'm moving on. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Like I said, if you saw this video, I've done the latest video that she recommended in the first video. I've done that video. Should be up. If you already done up and already, go watch that to see what I prove about that game. And we go from there. And then there's a guy called Mr. Fascinating. Not really fascinating. Just annoying. But I digress from that. So with that said, I'll catch y'all next time. Remember, there's no perfect games out there. What's perfect to you is not perfect to me. What's perfect to me is not perfect to you. Simply enjoy against all consoles, including PC. Peace out.